Welcome back. My name is Dee and this is Dee's Reading Lounge, where I'm sharing my love for reading at my own pace. If you are new to my channel, this channel is all about reading. I am a bit of a normal average paced reader. Some of my favorite books to read are historical fiction. I'm delving into a little romance. I've just recently found a favorite author, that's Beverly Jenkins. I do like thrillers and I do read them every now and then, and I do read contemporary literary fiction as well. Just a little bit about me and what you can expect on this channel. So I am going to be doing a TBR for March, and I thought I would call it March Mood Reading TBR because I selected, I believe, 10 books here that are books that I do want to read. A few are on my backlisted TBR that I just need to get read, and I am going to incorporate at least one Kindle book because I do have, not a lot, because I don't buy a lot of Kindle books, because for me I'd rather have a actual physical book. If I'm going to be paying $15, $15, $20, I'd rather have a physical book in my hand. So most of my books on Kindle were like really cheap, like $2.99, $5, because if Amazon decides to remove the book, then yes, I would still be upset, but at least I only spent $3 or $5 for the book. So, but I still need to read those books. I still spent some money on them. And so I will be choosing, or I've already chosen, the book that I'm going to be reading on my Kindle. So I'll just start with that book. So the book that I'm going to be reading on my Kindle is The Picture of Dorian Gray. This one has been in my library for quite some time, years, and it sounded interesting enough that I went ahead and bought the book, and I'm sure I did not pay full price for this book. Sorry if you do hear my washing machine in the background, it is kind of loud. But anyway, so this is by Oscar Wilde. I've never read anything from Oscar Wilde, but I'll just read a little bit of the synopsis for you. In the wealthy and vain hedonist Dorian Gray, London painter Basil Hallward has found his muse. Only when the portrait of Dorian begins to age, while the man himself remains untouched by time, do they realize they may have made a deal with the devil. Oscar Wilde's only novel takes a witty, philosophical, and harrowing look at our obsession with youth and the price we pay for it. So again, that sounded pretty interesting years ago, and it's been on my Kindle for quite a while. So I'm going to get that one read. All right, so let's get into the physical books, and then I am going to be choosing 2 books from my TBR jar. So let's save the TBR jar for the last. All right, so the first book that is in my mood reading TBR is Stay With Me by Ayobami Adebayo. And I've heard so many good things about this book. I've heard it's a lot of drama, messiness regarding a Nigerian wife and her husband, something to do with the wife not being able to have a child and the husband may go outside of the marriage, something like that. So I am very interested in getting into this book. So that's Stay With Me. The next book is, and that has been on my backlisted TBR for quite some time too. The next one is Jonathan O'Dell, The Healing. I've talked about this one too, so I really won't go into what this is about a lot, but it pretty much is a historical fiction. It's on a plantation where a slave woman, she steals a baby because she's lost her baby and things like that. And so I really want to read this one because it's been on my backlisted TBR for quite some time. And then this is definitely a definite book that I'm going to be reading because it's the second book of the Old West series. I've just read Beverly Jenkins' book Forbidden, and I loved it. I rated 5 stars. Breathless by Beverly Jenkins in the Old West series. So I'm not going to talk too much about this because it's book number 2, and I'm not exactly sure what to expect, but I think the 2 little girls that were in Forbidden have grown up and it's their story, I think. So we'll see what that one is all about. This is also a definite that I will be reading. This is The 4 Agreements. It's by Don Miguel Ruiz. It really is truly, like it says, a wisdom book. And I want to read it early in the year because I need to get back to these principles. He talks about just like wise agreements that you should make with yourself, how to live life, how to be happier, how to stop kind of negative thinking. I'll just read a little bit about the book. So it says, in the Four Agreements, Don Miguel Ruiz reveals the source of self-limiting beliefs that rob us of joy and create needless suffering. And that is so true, because sometimes we can just get so down on ourselves for things that just are not even real, or things that we can't even control. So we should look at and go into things that we deal with in life a little differently. Like not taking things personal is one agreement, which I had to resolve. I had to resolve that with myself. And so now that I've gotten older, I'm more wiser. It's true, when you do get older, you do become a lot wiser. I don't tend to take things personally, because that can really destroy you, because it might not even be about you. But anyway, so it says, based on ancient Toltec wisdom, the Four Agreements offer a powerful code of conduct that can rapidly transform our lives to a new experience of freedom, true happiness, and love. So I definitely want to read this one again so I can get back to those principles, because I've kind of not really gone off, but I just need to have a refresh, right? The next book I was supposed to read in February, but of course, you know, too many books, too little time. We did what we could. So I slid it over into March. So this is Salvage the Bones by Jesmyn Ward. And this one, it says, they heard it on the radio. A hurricane is coming, threatening the town of Boyce Savage, Mississippi. Esch's heart-drinking father can feel it in his bones. Esch and her brother are trying to help prepare, but there are other worries too. So this follows a family, it seems, in the midst of a hurricane and all the different turmoils or life events that's going on, and how they navigate it all with this impending hurricane. So we'll see, you know, how that reads. I think this is going to definitely be a definite book, because I'm very curious and eager to read this one, because it's about like a Victorian story, period, historical fiction about a Black princess. I think she is made part of Queen Victoria's court, and what her experiences are like being the only Black part of a monarchy or empire's court. So I'm really eager to see what this book is all about. I think I heard someone say that the book Queen of Spades that just came out is like a follow-up or a sequence to this book. So can't wait to read that at some point. We'll see. So this book has been on my TBR for quite some time, The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks, and I really want to get those books, like I said, that I have been meaning to read, who've just been sitting on my bookshelf without getting any love, collecting dust. I need to get to them. And so this follows or tells the life of Henrietta Lacks. Her cervical cells were stolen by the medical industry and turned into a billion-dollar industry they're still making sales off of this life. No, sorry about that. I don't know what I just said, but what I meant to say is that they are still making billions off of her cells. Even, I don't know how many years after her death, 1951, I think. And so can't wait to read this one. And then this one is kind of like, if I can get to it, because I am not that big of a fan of Mariah Carey. I think she's a wonderful singer, but it's just something about her personality that just not, I don't know. I just, but if I can get to it, because this is a library copy, I'm just curious about her life experiences and what she has to say in her book. So this is The Meaning of Mariah Carey. This one has been renewed, I think, once already. And so if I am intrigued to pick this up and read it, I will definitely read it, because I'm sure she does have some things to talk about, like her growing up biracial, and I know she had a traumatic family life and things like that. And so we'll get into that. All right, so let's get into our TBR jar. We're going to shake it up and see what we pick. I do have actual physical copies of like printed out books in here, and also a few prompts. So let's see what we can get. Ooh, I'm not gonna look. Let me do it again. I'm just gonna reach and grab. That way, since it's a clear jar, I can't see what I'm grabbing. Okay, all right. So the first book that we are gonna add to this mood reading TBR, if I'm in the mood for it, is this book right here. Oh my God, Atomic Habits. This is Atomic Habits. And honestly, I was kind of disappointed when I pulled this out, even though I've had this book for a good maybe 6 months now. And I've said I wanted to read this at the top of the year to get myself, you know, back to good habit building and things like that. So we're gonna go ahead and keep this on the list. Not sure if I'm going to read it, because I think what I'm gonna do during the month too is put all these books on the little spin wheel, and whatever book that's chosen, that's a book I'm gonna read if I'm in the mood for it. So we'll see if I get to read that one, but I do need to read it. So let's go ahead and choose the second book. If it's another nonfiction, we're just gonna have to put that one back, because I don't think I want to read that many nonfictions in 1 month. Okay. All right. Okay, so I have a prompt. And so the prompt says a book that is over 500 pages. No, we're gonna put that one back, because I cannot. Let's do it again. Okay. The House of Eve. The House of Eve. All right, so we're going to put that one in our stack. All right, so we chose The House of Eve. And I'm glad I chose this, because this is an author that I said I wanted to get into in 2025, because I am reading my first novel by her, The Yellow Wife. I should be finished with this by the time February is up. So I'm ecstatic about choosing that one. So I think I have a good variety of books here to choose from. One on my Kindle, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Actually 11. We've got 11 to choose from, and based on my mood, and I'll probably just do that wheel just to kind of mix it up. That's what we're gonna do. Let me know if you've read any of these books, any thoughts about the book, generally speaking. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.